Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Fiume, here live at the IFA2024 National Convention, and looking forward to interviewing some folks at this year's event. I am with a dear friend, Lane Fisher Zucker, one of the best franchise attorneys in the nation. Lane, how are you?
I'm doing great, Frank. That's a great intro. Appreciate that.
Lane, besides the, obviously, franchise law that you practice, one of the things I absolutely love about what you've done is creating conferences that are different. Would you share a little bit about what's coming up on the Unconference?
Sure. So we have our ski conference that we've done for almost 17 or 18 years in Park City, coming up in just 3 or 4 weeks. That will be totally sold out. It'll be people skiing all over the place. We only have 2 hours of programming in that event where people are, talking about the most pressing issues, and then people hit for extreme networking on the slopes, and it's going to be a great time.
It's going to be awesome. All right, and then one more thing, this young conference. So whose idea was this?
So it was the young guys' idea. It was Zach and Ryan. They said they wanted their own conference and wanted their own people and their own presenters, and that's, I think we're in our 4th year of that, and that also will sell out, and it's in an amazing spot, the Chicago Athletic Association, which has its conference area on the basketball court with
Nice.
the baskets down and the squishy floor, so that's amazing. And then our final event is our Springboard event in September in Philadelphia.
Which I love because the energy there is just incredible. It was also, the sessions were amazing, and I had a great time. I had a blast.
It's right up your alley. It has all your kind of content in it, but it's the right spot for emerging franchisors to go to content that is created and curated especially for them. And so, can't learn much about franchising in Thailand, but learn a lot about getting your first units open and becoming a successful and smart franchisor.
Absolutely. Okay, last thing. How many IFAs is this for you now?
Oh my God, I was just trying to figure that out. It's got to be mid-20s, 25 years, I think, at this.
Anything new, like what's been your biggest takeaway this year? Like what's changing? What's maybe a takeaway here where you see something different happening?
I think that there may be some regulations coming our way. I think people have to be responsible about how they award franchises, and it's not just sell as many as you can, but it's do it in a way that can sustain growth and make sure that the system's around for a long time to protect the investments of those who join the system.
And that's really always been the mantra. However, people have gotten away from that when it got easier to sell franchises again, right?
It did indeed. But it's like everything else, you have to do things, IFA's words, responsibly and do it in a way that, you can keep it around.
Absolutely. Lane, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it.
Bud.
Love you.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.